Hey, I'm Jamey from Stillmeyer Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in the game, Pixies. And the first thing I have to say about Pixies is that the artwork is absolutely delightful and charming. It appears, as far as I can tell, that the artist for this game actually created these little pixies in the forest and then photographed them in the forest itself, outside. Uh, Maybe there's some Photoshop manipulation, but it looks incredible. The art is so charming and cute and adorable. And this is actually one of the areas of tension in the game, because there were times in the game when I was playing this that I wanted to choose a card simply because it looked so amazing. And that is a really neat thing to see in the game, when the artwork or the theme of the game is so compelling that I am drawn to that just as much as I am drawn to the mechanisms or scoring points in the game. That is one of the various areas of tension that are combined with the goal of this game, or part of the goal of this game, to end the round with a completed grid. You play this game over 3 rounds. It's a card selection game where you have a row of cards. You select a card. You don't refill that card until all the other cards are selected, and each player is going to take a card from that row, and you will place that card somewhere in your grid. 3x3 grid here. These numbers are specific, so you can only put number 1 cards here, only put 3 cards here, only put 9 cards here, and there are different numbers of cards in the deck. So like you can see down here, this says ×5. So there are only 5 cards in the deck that have the number 9 on them, opposed to number 5 right in the middle, where you have 12 cards in the deck of that number. That's another one of the areas of tension when you're choosing cards. So really, my favorite mechanism in this game is all the areas of tension tied to when you select a card to put into your grid. One of them is the quantity of cards. One of them is the art. One of them is color groups. This grid is a terrible example of color groups because there are no cards of the same color that are connected orthogonally. That means they share an edge. But that is one of the ways that you score points in this game. If you look at your largest group of connected cards that are the same color. So you might be looking at color. You also look at negative or positive points. For example, this 6 card right here is worth points for the number 6 on it. So it's worth 6 points, but you lose points for every X on it. So this is actually only worth 5 points when you score this card. So you're looking at the number on the card itself. So if you see a 9 come up, that's worth 9 points. This is actually a really good 9-point card because there's no negatives on it. It's just 9 straight points. You take that card while you can and put it in your grid, or do you consider the color? Do you consider the art? Do you consider the negative points? Or do you consider the possibility that there might be a better 9 card out there, like this 3? This 3 has no negative points. It has 4 positive points. So this 3 is actually worth 7 points. So whenever you really need to put a 3 in your grid, do you grab it now, or do you wait until it's the right color for your color group? Like a blue 3 would have been great for this grid. Or do you wait for a 3 with more points or fewer negative points? So many little considerations in this very streamlined, simplified game. I don't want to say simplified, streamlined game that plays really well. We learned it and played it in about 35 minutes on Board Game Arena recently. But I was absolutely charmed by it, and I can't wait to play this game again. So really, my area, the areas of tension in this game are the core mechanisms of the game, but they're tied. That is the game. The game focused on this one element of giving you decisions as to which card do you want to take at this time to fill your grid. And if you do fill your grid, the round ends. No one else gets to play another card or you complete that draft in the game. So someone else could complete their grid by the end of that draft, but the round ends that round ends at the end of that card selection. Yeah, Pixies. Really had a good time with my first play of it. I'm curious to hear your thoughts if you can think of another game that has such distilled areas of tension in the selection process. That's my favorite mechanism in Pixies. Thanks.